And hello, everyone. I'm Cassandra Joan Butler, Agent 56 with the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. And this is Cosmic Connections. It's your opportunity to meet and greet in the room and share a little bit about what's going on in your life as I talk about what's going on in the stars, in the big cosmic connections. So we are heading towards the first quarter square. And with that first quarter square that begins tomorrow, we are leading up to the gibbous cycle next week. So tonight I'm going to kind of divide the week up into two sections, right? So what to expect with some of the astrology of this particular feeling tone that we're going through now, and how things may shift rather quickly on Monday. So hello, friends from Louise and Lynn and Vesta and everyone else who might be in the room. Good evening, Ripple from BC. Thank you for being here from California. Let me know where you're coming in from. I have to admit to you, I think that even though the square is not technically here, I'm certainly feeling the kind of nervous energy of the Gemini moon. And I don't know, I just feel really prickly and a little overwhelmed. And then when I was preparing for seeing you tonight, I had a reason why, right? There's always an astrological reason. For one thing, with this lunation, I'd like to say the first quarter square is our first opportunity to create a new template for ourselves, to pour the concrete down and build a foundation in a new way. And we're still under the umbrella of Pisces, but the Gemini energy is giving us the opportunity of choice, and never so much as this particular lunation is because of the Sabian symbol. So first quarter square, here is our chart. It takes place tomorrow. This is Eastern Standard Time. Please make the adjustments at 5:45 in the morning on the 10th of March. First of all, there's a serious overtone. The moon is trining Saturn. There are things to do in our lives. We have to be the responsible ones, but we're also sandwiched between Ceres, the moon, Black Moon Lilith, and chaos. It's like, wow, I have so much on my plate, but there's so much chaos in the world, and there's so much I don't understand. And what about my Ceres? What about my food, clothing, and shelter? I don't know where you're coming in from, but here in the States, our gasoline prices are going through the roof. I'm sure that's going to be a global manifestation of what is happening in the world. And even though our hearts and our souls and our minds are with the suffering we are observing and esoterically, psychically feeling that's happening in the Ukraine, yet our minds are, but what about me? What about me? How can I cope with all of this extra added stress? That's the feeling of this first quarter. So my suggestion, friends, is to do what you can under limited circumstances. Build a new template. Build something using the force of your intelligence, Gemini, and make reasonable choices to do something that's manifesting that you can count on. The sun is sandwiched between Jupiter and Neptune. And I know many of us experienced quite a colossal Jupiter moment this past Sunday of feeling unexpectedly buoyant, perhaps. But with this sandwiching between Jupiter and Neptune, we may be feeling a little hazy. Friends, also know that we're countdown now during this Pisces cycle with a big moment, the once-in-a-lifetime moment, when Jupiter and Neptune are going to be kissing in the sky at 23 degrees on April 12th. And of course, your friends at the CIA are going to do a wonderful job to share with you what this might mean. What does it mean? Well, as a reminder, Jupiter is truth, Neptune is transcendence. So the truth of transcendence that we've all been sharing since 2009 has been in the sign of Aquarius. It's a radical departure when it goes into Pisces. And I'm going to actually add a link here, and I'm going to strongly encourage you, friends, to come to this magnificent seminar called the Cosmic Renaissance. It's going to be starting on March 30th, and it's a series of webinars, of course, online. And we're going to be discussing not just the ramifications out there in the world for all of us, but how we can best maximize this download of Jupiter and Neptune. I'm going to be very happy and very thrilled to share with you some time-honored techniques to kind of rev up your psychic meter, how to use this energy to embrace the right side of your brain so you can become a lot more in tune with psychic spiritual messages. So I'm really excited about sharing that with you. Again, 2 weekends in a row. I just sent you the details. I hope to see you there because it's going to be a fabulous workshop. And you know, the CIA has the best astrologers around the planet, right? I'm a little prejudiced, but it's true. Okay, so back to our lunation of this first quarter square. We may be feeling overwhelmed. What's really going on? But take a look at the bucket pattern of this astrology chart. With Psyche, the asteroid Psyche being the handle of the bucket, it's calling us to trust our instincts. Even though we have the moon sandwiched between Ceres and Black Moon and chaos, we're feeling that anxiety. We have to breathe, relax, trust our intuition, trust our inner psyche, maybe turn on our psychic talents. It's countdown to the Renaissance, and this is my message to you about the Sabian symbol of 19 degrees of Gemini. You know, when we have lots of choices, it's sometimes more stressful than not. So the symbol is calling us to look at the many choices in our lives. This is a modern cafeteria displays an abundance of foods of many regions. Where's the abundance coming from? What's on your agenda? These are the questions that we're asking unconsciously or perhaps even consciously, feeling a little overwhelmed. We may be feeling limited by what's in front of ourselves. But when we're talking about food, we're talking about nourishment. So between tomorrow, technically tomorrow, or maybe right now, wherever you may be on the planet, until the gibbous cycle, please understand that you're trying to make decisions that will nourish your mind, body, and spirit. The Sabian symbol speaks of consequences because we have an abundance of choices. What do I decide to do? And so please be aware of that. I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest form of what that might mean for you and your chart. But hello, the Cancer day of the moon and the dragon year. John, that's a great question. So on this weekend, we have the Cancer moon. And even though we might be feeling a little overwhelmed today, tomorrow, heading into this weekend, the moon in Cancer, trining our Pisces energy, is going to be a little bit more buoyant and feeling a lot more secure and nourished by our family or our family of the heart. Hi, Crystal. Hello, Anne. Hi, Patricia from the Bronx. Hi, Nicole from Sydney. Hi, Angela from New Jersey. Woo, ain't that the truth? Yeah, right, Louise? West Virginia, Rose. Hello, Miss Rose. Hi, Mary Ann from North Tonawanda. Lovey from Alberta, Canada. Thanks for being here, Monica from Chapel Hill. And hi, Angela. Hi, Chris. Hi, Ripple. Good evening, friends. So ask yourself, what are my choices in front of me? Because that's going to be the question. Okay, how to say saying when we see so much darkness around? Absolutely. It's so hard to stay positive, Ripple. I'm absolutely with you. Hi, Ken from Buffalo. Hi, Taylor from Iowa. Hi, Mark from the Finger Lakes. Blessings, Gwen. I think when we follow the lunations moment by moment, think of astrology as a discipline that can teach us how to become better barometers of ourselves. If we know what's going on, in that moment, we can make conscious choices always. You know, the Cosmic Intelligence Agency is also about conscious, intentional choices. And knowing astrology is not the idea that we're puppets on a string at all. It gives us awareness. So this particular lunation, if every one of us, myself included, can get past that overwhelm, get past that sense of I'm helpless, there's so much horrific stuff going on in the world, but I can make a choice in my day-to-day life, moment by moment, and pick one thing or another. So the picking is between today and Monday. The execution of your choice comes at gibbous. We'll talk about gibbous in just a moment. So if you're Aries or Aries rising, you might be trying to make some choices about your time, the allocation of your schedule, what to do when. And that's going to feel like you're empowering yourself. If you could take some aspect of your schedule, no matter how busy you are, Aries, and say, I want to do this activity, this yoga, this prayer, this walk, this meal at my time. And that's going to feel good about making some qualified choices for Aries. For Taurus or Taurus rising, this energy is asking you to make some concerted choices about how you want to bring abundance through the realm of money or income in your life. Your head might be spinning, Taurus, say, there's so much I want to do to make more viable cash. So, peruse, reflect, think about that between now and Monday, and then execute it again on Monday. So it's about finances and income for Taurus. For Gemini, the choice is about how you want to be your best self, because the moon is in Gemini, right? So the lunation for the Geminis is asking the Geminis or Gemini risers to kind of step into yourself and become the best version of yourself, no matter what. For Cancer or Cancer rising, this energy is asking you to make some choices about how you want to spend your retreat time, your quiet time, your meditation time. Perhaps you need to make more choices about getting away from it all. If you are Leo or Leo rising, this particular lunation is asking you to pay attention to your friends, your groups, your associations. You might be making choices about who you want to spend time with. For Virgo or Virgo rising, the choices are about your career. I mean, really fantasize about what is your favorite thing about the present job and what would be your ideal job. You don't have to do or make a job change right now, but the ideas are coming through your mind about how you can better serve the world through your career. For Libra or Libra rising, it's about the choice of speaking your truth, of teaching, of writing, of traveling, of expanding your world in a new way. That's what this lunation is asking you to do, to consider the choices and then execute them on Monday. For Scorpio, the idea here is to improve yourself, to empower yourself using spiritual or psychological tools, and pick from the plates, pick from the cafeteria, the abundance of choices to become more empowered Scorpio. For Sagittarius, the choices that are presenting to you are about partnerships. We are not necessarily just saying spouse. We could say best friends, your business partners, your relationships. Choose to become a better partner and perhaps make some choices about making better decisions in relationships. For our Capricorns or Capricorn risings, this energy is asking you to take better care of yourself, nutrition, exercise, and make some choices. Consider many different choices. But remember, choices have consequences. Pick what will nourish your body. That is for our Capricorn friends. For Aquarius, it's about picking the choices to become more filled with joy, with creativity, and with perhaps romance as well. For Pisces, you might be considering different ways of doing your work or doing your job in a different way. So that's what we're talking about for our Pisces, and also where you're living and how you're living, how your home life can best be improved. All right, good evening. All right, well, thank you for sharing that, Rhonda. That's awesome news. Hi, Joanne. You're just across the border from me. Hello, in Northern Ontario. Okay. All right. Ripple had a question. All right. There was being thrown as homo sapiens and what's the consequences? Ripple, my sense is that we are in a crossroads of human history, and there's a lot to that. I'm going to throw this out to all of you to do a little research on. Um, we have all these industrial revolutions. We are what's going to be called, or what has been called, the fourth industrial revolution. We're at basically a cornerstone in human history. So it's the interface between humans, Homo sapiens, and machines. I think some of you have probably done some research on this regard. There are a lot of information out there about the great singularity and so forth. I personally am fascinated by what's happening. But I think that the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction is going to bring us almost back to the first industrial revolution. In reaction to it, we had the rise of spiritualism in the late 19th century. I think we're, as a species, because of this grand conjunction that's taking place in April, we're going to become a lot more aware of soul forces, not just technical forces, not just science forces, not just logical forces, but celebrating our souls and our psyches. That to me is the light at the dark tunnel that we've all been sharing on the planet Ripple. I hope that kind of makes sense. So I really want to encourage all of you to do some research on something called the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the singularity, and technocracy. And I think that's all under the umbrella of the old cycle of Jupiter-Neptune that began in 2009, when we have been deifying science. We've been deifying these wonderful tools called computers, but at the same time, sometimes we've been losing a lot of our juiciness, our soul, and our compassion. That, to me, is the legacy of this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction that's going to be taking place very soon. And please join me and the other agents for this wonderful, let's see, I can post that here. Let's see, can I post it? I can't. Let's see, update, paste, for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency Cosmic Renaissance that starts taking place on March 30th. All right, so we jump from the first quarter square. I can't post to some destinations, but please check that out, friends. It's going to be a great webinar, seminar, workshop. Love it. On Monday, we get into Gibbous. Talk about psychic, talk about spiritual. At Gibbous, we're anticipating the moon to be full on the 18th. But during this time, the sun and moon are making this angle of discomfort. And so we have to trust our intuition. This gibbous cycle has the moon opposite Mars, Venus, and Vesta. Remember, the moon's going to be in sovereign Leo up against all those Aquarian planets. So as Monday unfolds and Tuesday unfolds and part of Wednesday as well, there's more prone to conflict. And but the Sabian symbol says it all, which I'll get to in just a moment. The moon becomes the handle of the bucket. It's not psyche anymore. It's our emotions, our sense of safety and security. We have chaos conjunct Black Moon Lilith entrining Saturn. There's a part of us that understands, perceives, even logically sees, and still has some cognitive dissonance about what's really going on in the world around us. But we're experiencing that chaotic feeling. So aligning ourselves to our own sovereignty is the key next week. This week, align yourself to your psyche. Handle the bucket. Saturn's going to be in conjunct the Neptune, Jupiter, Sun, and we're saying to ourselves, this can't be going on my planet. This can't go on. And then as the week unfolds, we have a grand square forming, and that's touching in with the nodes. And remember, the nodes are contact points. People are coming into our lives. People are leaving our lives. That's all happening next week. Countdown to the full moon next week on Cosmic Connections. I'll be talking about what that full moon at 27 degrees of Virgo is all about. So look at the Sabian symbol. Look at the message of this gibbous cycle. Rock formations over a deep canyon. That's one of the warning degrees. So things probably, unfortunately, are going to heat up in the Ukraine next week. And this image of a canyon, rock formations over a deep split, right? So we're making our choices this week. Next week, we have to take action on those choices. We may feel helpless because there's, a great divide. We want to do our best to cross that great divide. We may be feeling as though we're backed up against a wall. So do we jump? Do we somehow navigate our way across the canyon? Remember, the rock formations have been there for a long time. It's the idea of structure, the old structure, the old ways, of doing things. But here, the action to take, I believe, is taking a great leap of faith, even though we're experiencing a lot of impersonality. So at the gibbous cycle, for Aries, take action with your joy, with your creativity. And if you have children or grandchildren, take a great leap of faith and get to know them more. For Taurus or Taurus rising, take the great leap of faith by reconstructing your family feeling or your home, becoming more comfortable and hospitable within your own surrounds. For Gemini or Gemini rising, take the leap of faith by just saying no to too many requests by people. In other words, get a hold of your time. Become more mindful of what you want to do during your precious time. For Cancer or Cancer rising, take the leap of faith. And if you want to have income in a new way, go for it. It's about creating income or abundance your way. For Leo or Leo rising, take a leap of faith next week by becoming a lot more confident, charismatic, and strong in the way you're projecting yourself. For Virgo or Virgo rising, this leap of faith for you is about having faith, going into your 12th house, as it were, doing 12th house things, meditating, praying, getting away from the maddening crowd. For Libra or Libra rising, take a leap of faith with your friends, groups, and associations next week. For Scorpio, leap of faith with your career, taking more of a leadership position. For Sagittarius, being able to speak your truth in a new way or expanding your life by travel or learning. For Pisces, take the leap of faith regarding your long-term financial holdings. We're like really empowering yourself and having faith that the finances will come through. For Aquarius, take a leap of faith with your partners and be very aware of ways you can become a better partner. Also for Pisces, take a leap of faith with your work and your self-care and doing what you can do. I forgot our beautiful Capricorn. I saw that. Capricorn, your leap of faith has to do with empowering yourself and becoming your own authority. All right. Isn't that a gorgeous photo? It really is. Yes, the nodes know, Rhonda. Thank you. Please no more conflict. I'm with you. You are very welcome, Ripple. I love being with you guys, and I appreciate that. Okay. All right. Soul forces. Yep. Transhumanism, Ripple. Yes. That's what I was implying. Absolutely. I really became very interested in the transhumanistic movement, not in a positive way, I shall add. Let's say goodbye to the slides here at all. When I was doing an article for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency when Uranus was back in Aries. And we know that Uranus went into Taurus, I think the middle of May of 2018. And it was really eye-opening because I wasn't really aware of the movement of transhumanism that's been going on since the 30s. I mean, it's often akin with the Nazi movement, right? The Superman theory. Transhumanism is alive and well under the auspices of certain collections of individuals, including the, shall we say, the World Economic Forum. Some of you have done some research with that, and one of their major scientific advisors that are very proud to say, according to some video I have seen, that, we are at this fourth industrial revolution. hurrah, because now we can interface biology with technology. And I'm sure some of you have done more research than I in the specter of AI. So, we have a lot of things that are going on the planet at this junction in human history. And when I feel more well versed, I'll certainly be maybe doing some sort of webinar or something along those lines. But what I perceive is that the solution for 2022 and a lot of this chaos and a lot of this sense of endangering of human compassion is going to be compartmentalized on that April 12th week. And then, of course, that's also the week when we have Mars-Saturn action, too. So when we have great strife, and great conflict, that often opens up the human qualities of compassion, which I don't think you can put into a human. I think it's quintessentially human. I don't think you can download that into a program, whether it be an AI or a computer. So a lot more to come on those issues. All right, friends. Thank you. Please do, Ripple. I love to learn as much as I can about that. A lot to wrap up. Yes, spiritual warfare. No matter what your individual beliefs might be, heretofore in human history, I don't remember creating myself, and I know no human has created myself except through the grace of the magic and mystery of life through the Creator. And when you play God, that has some great and dire consequences. So there's a lot more we could talk about, but I would invite anyone to send me information. Thank you, Ripple, for that. Let's do some spiritual work now, friends. And again, I want to remind you that in my humble estimation, the juiciness of the new era that we are approaching in April is going to be akin to the reaction that took place in the late 19th century. Remember the transcendentalists, the Walden's Pond, the theosophists, the spiritualists, the people that gathered in the late 19th century, horrified by what they were seeing with that first industrial revolution, the pushback against the locomotive, for example, and the wonderful inventions of industry, but also the split from nature. And we're almost in a similar type of mindset right now in 2022. There's a part of us that we enjoy our tools, our technological tools, but at the same time, we crave the peace and the serenity that comes from our spiritual tools. So that's what this Renaissance is all about, the Cosmic Renaissance, the workshop that will be taking place with Cosmic Intelligence Agency. So I hope you can come. All right. Lots said here. There's a lot to wrap one's head around. Indeed, Ripple. And thank you for any emails or any information you can send. I'm very, very appreciative. All right. Thanks for being here, dear friends. We're going to switch gears and I'm going to do some spiritual work. I always invoke with a prayer. If you want to get a reading, please let me know. And I'll just randomly select with my fingers and with my eyes shut. And these could be spiritual or mediumistic messages. I never really know what to expect because I go through the process, which I'll be teaching you during that seminar, by the way, the CIA seminar. Please come because I have techniques that I've utilized for over 30 years to make myself relaxed, to become more open to the realm of spirit. So, dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest and best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay. All right. Ripple, I'm not kidding. My thumb came to you. All right, Ripple, you would like a reading. You're in the room, and my thumb came to you, so I will tune into your energy. Okay. I'm seeing a beautiful scene for you, Ripple. And I've never had the opportunity to go to BC. I've been to the Rocky Mountains in the United States, but that whole Rocky Mountain range is magnificent. So I'm not sure where you live, or of course, I've never, not yet met you, but the scene that flashed in my mind were like a beautiful kind of valley with wavy grain. I'm borrowing from the America the Beautiful song, but there are amber waves of grain, but there's mountains all around, but it's a beautiful meadow. And there's something about this scene that I'm seeing for you that I don't know if you've ever done any sort of artwork that's somehow connected with nature, that somehow uses natural elements, whether it be clay or doing some sort of gathering of natural leaves or branches and putting them together in some beautiful way. But that's what I'm getting for you, that you get inspired by these vistas. And there's a melancholy that you're missing a place that of your childhood that would inspire you with mountains around, with this kind of grassy plain or valley. And as I'm tuning into this image for you, I'm being made aware that there was a very inspirational teacher in your young years. And I don't believe this is a blood relative. I believe this was actually a teacher, perhaps in school or in the neighborhood, who was a very wise, kind of like a Yoda type. Um, it's almost as if it was a female, but but elderly, but extremely provocative. And this woman would give you books and ideas, and she believed in your brilliance and she believed in your intelligence. She's coming in from the other side of life, and she's telling you to keep on questing and keep on and she's also has an instrument with her. I think it's a string instrument. I don't know if you play a string instrument, but she's showing me chords on like a guitar or a violin. I guess not a violin, it's mostly guitar. But she's saying that you have the aptitude of taking substances and being an alchemist, Ripple, in such a way that you can communicate to others through this artistic expression. I'm not saying you're an artist per se, but taking these different elements, also photography. Maybe that's why I'm getting the vista, but I'm getting all these images for you. I'm also getting for you this evening where I'm at. Um, you're in need of an adventure, and you're in need of an outdoor adventure at best, whether this be camping or hiking or something along these lines. And you can hardly wait, because when you're in the surround of beauty, natural beauty, that makes your heart sing. And I'm getting the words singing and inspiring others, Ripple. I'll leave that with God's blessings. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming in from Sweden. And let's do one more read. I hope that resonated with you, Ripple. Oh, okay. You live in oceanfront. Okay, beautiful. Okay, indeed. Lovely. I don't know if you do beach walking and you pick up beach glass or shells, but I'm seeing that you are incorporating some of the beauties of the earth in a very respectful way. You're not like a hoarder, but you're extraordinarily respectful with this natural relationship with nature, Ripple. And I love the name Ripple, by the way. And it was funny that you said you're at the ocean side, because I thought I was seeing ocean at first. So I thought, well, that's just too transparent, because her name is Ripple. But many blessings to you. One more read here. All right. Okay. Taylor Evans, I'm with you. Taylor Evans, I'm with you. Taylor Evans. I'll just say hello. Yes, you're still with us. Taylor Evans. Okay. Taylor Evans. Okay. All right. Hi, Taylor. As I'm tuning into your energy, I'm hearing laughter. I don't know if you do, if you if you listen to comedies, or if you do comedy, or you have a great Sagittarius part of your chart that's very sarcastic and droll, and are you able to tune into the irony of life. But or maybe you have a strong Jupiter in your chart. I don't know, but I'm just seeing laughter and feeling that people need your leadership using the element of laughter and irony, because that's a gift of looking at something and seeing um, seeing two sides of every story, and creating a piece through humor. And so, Taylor, when you do your studies, and I feel you're very studious, that you do a lot of research, that not just with astrology, but other aspects of life, um, please know that this mind of yours is super sharp and can find connections where other people cannot make connections. It feels that you may even have a book or two that you would like to communicate to others, but that will come. Right now, you are in the gathering of information stages, is what I'm getting for you, Taylor. I'm also picking up this tremendous sense of I'm hearing music, and the music I'm hearing is like flute or recorder. I don't know if you go to rituals or seminars where people are playing these beautiful um, instruments, or whether you do that. Um, but the word I'm getting for you, Taylor, is also music of the spheres. That when you let yourself just go, you, in your quiet, in your meditation, in your downtime away from others, you really listen. That's another superpower that Taylor has. As we move forward through June and July of this year in particular, you're stepping out in a public domain with a lot more confidence, whether this be a group, an association. It's almost like, or maybe you're forming a group or an association of like a mini think tank. But I'm just feeling all this headiness with you, and maybe frustration. I talked earlier about the cafeteria with many choices. Be gentle with yourself and know that you have many multiple gifts. And next week, during the Give Us cycle, take action on just one of those skills, just one of those choices that will make you feel more empowered. Because, quite frankly, the past 2 years have been, for everybody, but especially for you, a lot of losses, Taylor. And all you need to do is pick one thing at a time, because I'm getting that now. I'm getting Gemini with you, the racquetball of going back and forth, back and forth. I'm also getting us as racquetball. Maybe you do play some sort of racket sports where your wrists and your arms are involved. All right, Taylor, please give me some feedback if you'd like. But I do know that this is going to be kind of a phenomenal year for you after we get past June. That's when you kind of enter into this new environment. All right. I know it's crazy. All of you guys can do what I do. All right. I promise. Just need a little practice if you haven't done it yet. That's why we're going to be doing that seminar, the Cosmic Renaissance, starting on March 30th weekend. So I hope to see you through the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. Well, dear friends, it's been always wonderful to spend a little time with you on Wednesdays. And I'm wishing for you a very productive, choice making first quarter square. Um, Try to get away from the overwhelm, because that's what this is about. We're in overwhelm. Then next week at Gibbous, with that moon in Leo, be sovereign in your choices. Decide, I'm going to take one action in this regard, because we all need to feel empowered, because the world out there feels so disempowering. There's all of us, our hearts want to help people in Ukraine. All of us want to help each other. All of us want to have energy and food and water, and it feels so much out of reach. So any little mini choice we can make and taking action next week, Monday, will heal our hearts, because we can't individually save the world, but collectively we certainly can. All right, many blessings to you, and hope to see you next week, and hope to see you at the Cosmic Renaissance. Many blessings. Good night.